people. I am Sanjiv Kumar Mandal, resource person in the DUGDA, and I am welcoming you all in in-house training session, which is conducted and organized by the CBSE. Today, my topic is value-based education. So before starting anything, I'd like to start from a famous proverb given by Mahatma Gandhi. If you are to teach in the real place, you should have to start from the children. And I very much agree with this thinking, because if you want to start education from any point of view, you have to be focused on the children. Right now, our education system is value-based education system, and the child is in the center. So our education system is now child-centered education. Whole education system is focused on the students. In the beginning, in ancient time, the education system was teacher-centered, where teachers are the main center and students was in the surrounding. But right now, there are so much changes in the whole world. The time of globalization, education system has been changed, and now it is child-centered. So child-centered education, so main focus, so all the teachers have main focus on the student. So how the students can be developed, how we can encourage them morally, socially, spiritually. So in this time, value-based education is one of the most important thing for as far as we are teachers concerned. So before anything moving ahead, I want to know, I will explain about what are the values. So values are those things, those ideas, beliefs, norms which are accepted socially. We know that human is a social being. We live in a society. So every society has established their beliefs, their norms, their regulations, and a community of people accepted it. So those rules which are created by the society and accepted by the mass number of people, that is right or wrong, this is called the value. In other ways, if you want to compare in our country, the culture, the society, languages, everything is different. So when the culture is different, languages are different, peoples are different, their values are also different. If you compare with our country with the other countries like Western countries, the values are quite much different from each other. If you talk about our country, in our country there are so many states, and every state has their own language, own culture, so their values are also different. So in other way, we can say that the ideals in which weightage is given in the society, by which behaviors of a person that society is governed and controlled, is called value. So at this time, value education is very essential for everyone. Right now, the form of education which we individual for moral and spiritual development of values is called value education. If you want to develop the student, there should be some moral and spiritual values among the students. If we are capable to inculcate this kind of values, that kind of moral and spiritual thinking among the students, that means the value education will be completed. If you compare between education and teaching, if you are in a classroom, we are teaching any subject, whatever the subject can be, it can be mathematics, science, SST, whatever subjects are. So when we are teaching the subject, students learning from that subject, that teacher, they are studying from that chapter and they are securing good marks in the examination. Maybe after completion of their school, college, universities, they will achieve their goals, they will be a successful person in the society, they will become IAS and IPS. But this is the system of teaching. When we teach something, students learn, grab it, and the teaching is completed, but education is not completed. If the values from the teacher, suppose we are teaching any topic, any subject, any chapter, so what are the values of the chapter? For example, if I am teaching about the conservation of energy, I taught the student about the conservation of energy, that energy, how does that energy is formed? Like electricity, electrical energy is formed by the on burning coal. When we burn coal, it is converted into heat energy, thermal energy, then again it is converted into electrical energy. Students learn the electrical energy, the process of making, how to create electrical energy, all the things they have learned. They have written in their notebooks, in the examination hall, they secured good marks. But when the student go their home, when they are going out from their home, the switch is still on. The fan is running on, the bulb is still on, but the student neglect this whole thing, all things, and remove from exit from their room. It means that education is not completed. If the student is aware that when I left the room, it is my moral responsibility to switch off the fan, to switch off the bulb, because there is no need, there is no person, there is no need to be switched on this kind of things. If the student go out from the room, before going out, he switched off the fan, bulbs, that means he learned the values from the education, because we have told them the coal is formed through the million of years. We cannot prepare in laboratories. So if you waste them, it will be completely destroyed. So we have teach them how to conserve. So he learned conserve as well as the value from it. If the student learn value, our education is completed. If they do not learn the values, only teaching is completed. So as far as teacher is concerned, our moral responsibility is to teach the student not only the subject, not only the topics. Our responsibility is to teach them what are the hidden values of that chapter. How can we implement in our life? Because when the student will pass out from the school, they will go to the society. They will meet different kinds of people. And when their behavior, their attitude shows the values of the student. If their behavior, their value, their characters, their discipline is not good, that means they haven't learned any kind of values from the education. They are not educated, they are literate. They know how to read, they know how to write, but they are not educated. So, it is our responsibility as teacher to teach them not only the subject, but also the values from the topic, values from the different subjects. So what is the need of the value-based education? Why we are focused to teach the student with the values? If there will be no value, then what will happen? So, if you are going to discuss about the need and importance of the values, so we'll see, if you want to develop the student, if you want to make all-round development of the student, it is very essential to give them value education. For example, when you enter the classroom, sometimes we praise few of a student. Among we have a 40-60 student in a classroom, we praise 1, 2, 3 per student. We cannot praise all students. So what is the reason behind it? We are not going to praise all the students. We are praising only 2 or 3 per student. Because we say that he is very disciplined, he is very obedient student. He do their work with the honesty. So what is this honesty? He is very truthful, he is very obedient. These are the values. So if you want to create an environment in your class which is called the all-round development. So how can all-round development is possible? If you give the education with the values, then the all-round development is possible. So for all-round development, it is essential to give them value education. Next, inculcate manners and sense of responsibility and cooperation among the child. The teachers cannot be stay through the whole day with the students. When the well-run teacher came out of the classroom and the classroom is empty now, no teachers there. There are 30-40 students. So they can be fight with each other. So how to cooperate with each other? How to having some responsibility, that is nobody is there to teach them that don't make a noise. So it is their own responsibility that if I am in the classroom, if I am a student, then it is my responsibility to maintain silence in the classroom. So this kind of responsibility, this kind of cooperation come from the student side, that means the student have values. So if students have value, there will be complete discipline in the class as well as in the entire school. Next, if the education, if you want to make our country better, how can a country be a better in a better condition? The country can be better when they are better citizens. Right now they are the child, which were taught by the teachers, but after some times, after some years, they will be the citizen of our country. They will go to the society, they will work in different platforms. So if there is no values among the student, they cannot be a good citizen. And if the citizen of our country is not good, how can we think that the country can be great? So if you want to make your country great, the citizens should have the values. And the citizens come from the school, which study in our school from childhood, from nursery to class 12. So we have 13-14 years to teach them values. To develop a sense of respect for the others human being. There are so many people in our society, relatives, friends. There are so many people whom we don't know. So there is a sense of respect. If there is an old citizen whose age is 60 or 70 years, so it is our responsibility to give them respect. We should respect not only our parents, not only our relatives, not only our elders. It is the responsibility to give respect to every citizen of India. This can be given by the value education. Inculcate the sense of patriotism and national unity among the students. If you want to make, again I repeat the same thing, that if you want to make the citizen of our country better, then the country will be better. So the sense of patriotism. If I am living in a country, then definitely I have some duty for our country, some responsibility for our country. So how this feeling comes from? This feeling will come through the value-based education, sense of patriotism and national unity. We say in a Sanskrit, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That means the whole world is our family. So how these values come from? It comes from our ancient time. So we learn that, we already learned that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, but when we go in a marketplace, in anywhere, we fight with each other with no reason. No reason. There is no reason, but two people are fighting. So then, where this value has gone? We know that, but we are fighting. That means the value is nothing. So if you want to develop patriotism, national unity among the students, it is very essential to learn value-based education. Develop democratic ways of thinking and living. We are living in a democratic country. So we have many rights, many duties. So if you want to make our country again better, then there should be democratic values among the students. There should be tolerance, understanding of different religious values. In our country there are different religious, different cultures, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Sikh. There are so many religions. So the values tell us that every religion is same. We should respect not only our language but also others. For example, if a Muslim person, some incidents that happened with my life, I have a Muslim friend and we decided to go to visit a temple, nearby temple. I was entering in the temple. I saw that Muslim boy left out his slipper outside the temple. He don't know the method of worship of our God, but he left his slipper sandal outside the temple. This shows the value of the student. He knows this is our God and this should be given to respect. It is another thing, is a Muslim is not worshiping our God, but it is the value given by his parents, given by his teacher, that every God should be respectable. So this comes from values. The spirit of brotherhood. We are living in a country where the spirit of brotherhood should be strong. All Indians, we say that we all Indians are brother and sister. So where does this thinking comes from? This thinking comes from the values. The values which are given by our parents, our teachers, our students, so that we are feeling that brotherhood among us. If we have a brotherhood among us, we will be praised not only in our national level but also in international level. You have heard so many times in other countries, sometimes say that India is a very good country. The people have different culture, different languages. There is a diversity, but we can see the unity. So unity is present there, but there is a huge diversity. Diversity in culture, diversity in languages, diversity in food items, diversity in dressing sense. Everything is different, but we are united together. So whole world praise our country that this is the one of the best country that has different religion, different culture. And this is why our country is praised all over the world, because of our values. Our culture is different. Our method of doing all the things are different. So these are the values which are essential for our student. If this kind of values are present among the students, definitely they will make our country great and we will be proud on us and our future. So what are the types of values? So in a simple way we can say there are two types of values. One is the moral values and the second one is social values. So what are the moral values? Those values which are found in an individual, inside it, like honesty, discipline, tolerance, truthfulness. So these are the values of an individual. So if an individual has some values, such values are called moral values. But being as a human, we are social animal. We are living in a society. So there are so many responsibilities for our society as well. So we have some social values. So what kind of values we can show in our society? Respect for others, tolerance, discipline, adjustment among the different kinds of people. These are the social values. There are some educational values too, like knowledge. If a student gains knowledge, they will have some educational values. If they are disciplined, that means definitely they have values. Religious values. What are the religious values? So I have already told you that in earlier. So if you respect all the gods, if you respect all the religions, all the cultures, that means I have some religious values. So there should be some religious values among the students, educational values as well, on social and obviously moral values too. There should be some political values too. We are teaching in a classroom where few students will definitely be a politician. So when the politician, it is great responsibility on the shoulder of a politician. They will conduct how will our country go. That is dependent upon the politician. Some of the students can be MP, MLAs, Prime Minister or Chief Minister. So there should be values among them. So what kind of values are political values? A politician should be honest. There is honesty inside the politician. If a politician is honest, then definitely our country will go ahead and we will be the superpower. If a politician have patriotism feeling, if we have a politician who have patriotism feeling, like giving respect to our country, respect to our national flag, national anthem, national song, definitely they will never do any kind of wrong things. So these are the political values. Basically, if you say what are the values, so values are those things which taught you them what is right and what is wrong. If you are capable of taking any decision that what is right and what is wrong, then we have some values. But this time there is lack of values among the students. So what are the reasons that students have degrade their values? So there are so many reasons. Before going causes of degradation of moral values, there are some sources of moral values where they gain values. So students can earn the values from house. In house they have parents, father, mother, brother, sister, everyone teach the student what is right, what is wrong. So first they can take the lesson from their home, their house. So first moral values, first moral things can be taught to a student, to a child from his home. The second, from community. Before reaching to the school, 3-4 years, the student remain in the society. They visit to their neighbors. So they can learn values from their neighbor. So how the behavior of their neighbor, they are doing right or wrong. So they learn from their neighborhood. Next, when they reach to the school, they learn values from their schools. They spend most of the times in school, a long period of time in school, almost 12 to 13 years, 14 years in school. So they learn different kinds of values for different kinds of activities. In our school, co-curricular activities has been done. In co-curricular, student learns so many values. There is sense of responsibility, tolerance, cooperation, self-confidence. This kind of values are created by CCE, co-curricular activities, which is performed or done by the schools. Next, they can learn values from their culture. Everyone has their different culture. They can be Hindu, Muslim, whatever their religion is. So there is different values. The culture says about values. The culture teaches what is right, what is wrong. In our culture, there are so many saints, so many god or goddesses story. So from that story, we can learn the moral. If our God is doing that, so we should also try to follow their path. So we learn values from our cultures. We can learn values from our books. There are so many good books available in a library, in a bookstore. So books, as a famous proverb has been said, that a book is far better than the thousands of friends, because book can never cheat you. A book always teach you. So we can learn so many values from books. We can learn values from so many philosophers. There are so many philosophers like Swami Vivekananda, Swami Saraswati. So philosophers, they have their own life, they have their own journey, they achieve their goal. From their life, from their goals, we can learn the values. We can learn values from our constitution. The first line has been written in our Constitution of India, we the people of our country. Here the word is used, we the people of, not I the people, we the people. That means our Constitution not saying about the individual. We the people, all are equal before the laws. The law is not differentiated among us. We all peoples are same. So this is also the value. We are human beings and we all are equal. Whether they can have different religion, they can have different social status, economic status, but all are same. So these are the value we can learn from our Constitution too. So nowadays there is lack of values among the students. So why these values are degrading continuously? So first is effect of materialism. We are nowadays very practical. We are very materialistic. We are always busy in showing off our status. We are going branded mobiles, branded cars, shoes, and try to show up in our society. So that if you are showing your economic status in this kind of stuff, so there will be lack of moral values in you. Next, lack of social sensitiveness. People are nowadays become less sensitive. When there was no internet, no mobile phones, people are more cooperative with each other. But nowadays, if an accident was happened in the roadside, most of the people will take their mobile phones and start recording. And they upload it in the website, in Facebook, WhatsApp, and they will show us that I was present at the accident site. I have seen it, that I was the part of that accident, maybe. But if you have seen an accident, but you haven't done anything for that injured people, that means you have no values. If I have seen a people is crying for help, and it is my value to reach to the hospital. So people nowadays become less sensitive. That's why the values is degraded continuously. Social sense of selfness. People are nowadays become selfish. They are always busy in thinking about himself. How to rise myself, how to make us better, how to make a big bungalow, big car, etc. People is always busy on thinking about himself. They don't have time to think about the society, think about the nation. They don't care about what the things is going in our surroundings, how our neighbors are, is they are good or not, they are feeling sick, whatever they need. They don't care about that. They are busy only thinking about himself. So when this kind of values, this kind of things will happen, values also degrading. Lack of justice. In our society, social justice is not up to the mark. Our constitution has so many demerits also. We have a good constitution, but there is so many demerits. Innocent people always engaged, always involved. Without any reason, they have to send, they send jail. Sometimes they have made a mistake, which are not a bigger mistake, but due to some political pressure, economical pressure, policemen send them jail. And they struggle their whole life, but they cannot be prove themselves innocent. Obviously, they were, some of them is innocent, but they are not able to prove them innocent. So there is a lack of justice in our judiciary system. So this kind of, if the judiciary system is not providing justice to the innocent people in early stage, definitely there will lack of values. The student, the people who is facing injustice from the society, from the people of our country, the values inside him will degrade. They will never think about anyone, that if I am thinking about someone, what I have gained, I am sent to the jail without any reason. So this is the reason, that the cause of degradation of social values, moral values. There is some cultural effect too. Nowadays, people are busy in mobile phones and internet. We are always connecting with the internet system. If you watch television right now, you will always have a debate between Hindu and Muslim conversation. If you watch that kind of conversation regularly, you will angry about other religion. If you are Hindu, you will always hate the Muslim. If you are Muslim, you will always hate the Hindus. So this kind of values are given by our television program. So this kind of program should be banned, which are always running in television every day. So these are the reason of degradation of moral values. So it is our responsibility to increase the moral values among the students. So how can we increase the moral values among the students? So being a teacher, it is our responsibility to set a high goal in the classroom. If I am entering the classroom, it is my duty to show a high confidence, high moral values among the students. For example, if I smoke, I will not have such confidence to say the student that smoking is injurious to health, because I am doing that. If I don't have values, I cannot teach the student about the values. So first, it is my responsibility to set a high goal. Next, in teaching in different subjects, we should share some moral and social values of the subject, like truthfulness. If you are studying any chapter, any topic, so is there any moral in it? So it is truthfulness, self-confidence, equality, unity and brotherhood. In the classroom, if you maintain equality among the student, if you maintain brotherhood among the student, definitely there will be moral will the student will increase and the values will also increase. Being a teacher, it is your responsibility to always encourage the student. If you will encourage the student, their moral values will be high. If you will not encourage, always discourage them, their values will be down. They will be never confident. They cannot be say anything, whatever right or wrong. Whole thing, when they watch anything that is happening, that is wrong. But a student taught in the classroom always that you are a stupid, you cannot do anything, you are useless. When the moral of the student goes down and he cannot fight for his own cause. Not for societies, not for friends. He is always listen other people what say. So it is our responsibility to praise the student. If you praise the student, definitely their moral will increase. We should organize some social services like connecting. If you take some student to the orphanage, they will go to the orphanage and watch the people who are there. So why they are here? These are the old people. They have millionaires, some billionaires. So many people send their parents to the old age home. So is there any kind of values to send their parents to the old age home? No. So, okay, I'm concluding the topic in a few minutes. So being a teacher, it is our responsibility to encourage the student. I'm finishing my topic with a short story about Albert Einstein. Once Albert Einstein was a kid. He was a student of 3 or 4 classes. When he goes to school, his teachers said him one day, "Son, come here and take a letter and give it to your mom, and your mom will say what is written and what we have to do." He goes to his home and gave that letter to his mom. And eagerly, Albert Einstein said what has been written in the letter. Then his mother said that, "My son, this is written by your teacher that you are a very bright student. You are the extraordinary student, and the whole teacher of your school is not capable to teach you because you are very meritorious, and your classmates are not so meritorious. So they cannot adjust you with us. That's why your teacher said that you will remain in home and I will teach you." He was happy that my mother will teach from tomorrow. His mother started teaching him continuously. After a few years, he became a scientist, a great physicist. After being a great physicist, he built a new home and shifting their goods, their books, copies, beds in that new room. While shifting this kind of articles from old building to new, he got that letter. So there was so many dust in the letter. He just cleaned the dust and again open that letter and start reading what has been written. He was very excited that my teacher has written that. So what is written in? So he read it and he start crying. In the letter there was written that your son is incompetent. There is mentally retarded. He is not capable to understand anything. So we are not capable to teach him. So please do not send the child to a school from tomorrow. So what is the value? Value is that his mother should tell him wrong, lie. But his mother encouraged him. She said that you are the extraordinary student. Your teacher was not capable, the student was not capable to balance with you. That's why I am teaching you. So a mother always appreciates a child. So the best moral we can gain from our home. And next we can go to the school. Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you very much.